This is werewolves and wolfmen. They're very different. Alright, a wolfman is cursed. Alright, he's doomed to hunt the one he loves the most. Alright, that's who he wants to go after. He'll go after anybody who gets in his way or whoever he sees first. But he is under a curse. He was turned into a wolfman by a werewolf. A werewolf has made a pact with Satan in order to get special powers. Alright? And he has made a deal with the devil. Often it's a thief and he's running from people who are trying to catch him, to kill him. And he meets a dark man in the forest. And the dark man says, I have a deal for you. All you have to do is give me your soul, and I will give you the ability to be able to turn into a wolf, to escape the people who are trying to get you for what you have done. And when you have this form, you can do even more evil, and you have more powers. So it's kind of a win-win, because he probably thinks his soul is out anyway. Right. But once your soul is gone, you cannot redeem it. That's the problem. So, werewolves, nasty, know what they're doing. To fight werewolves, you have to have silver bullets. Alright? And you make silver bullets with a little bullet press, and you have to heat up some silver. I've got a heat thing here, and there's my cauldron. And this shows that often we will take donations in a village of silver and melt it down in order to make all the silver bullets that we're going to need. Alright? This is just a giant sack. Alright, that's really all that this is. It's a big bag. But this was the Boo-Bagger's bag. It's nice and clean now because it was nasty before. And what the Boo-Bagger would do is he just catches children. He takes his bag, and he goes into their homes. He'll either open the window and reach in and grab them from the bed, and he puts them in his bag. And once there, he'll eat the children when he gets them back to his cave, and he will cut off the faces of the children and decorate his bag with them. I did not think it was appropriate to have a bag decorated with children's faces, therefore it is just the bag itself. This is our monstrous world. This is the whole world right now as it stands in 1533. Alright, so in here, France, and in the map, it shows you what's what. See, France is over here right now. Here's France. You can see a werewolf, you can see a dragon. But all the monsters that are in France, in case you're traveling, come here first and know what you have to deal with. Alright, so it has all the monsters there, and then recommended gear to take into that area. Local monsters to France, let's say. Bisclaveret, that's a French werewolf. Alright, a Tarasque kind of dragon. Giants, gargoyles, Barbagozi. French Alps has Barbagozi. Wyverns, dragons, werewolves. Recommended gear, silver dagger, some kind of a silver weapon, a bow, and a Bible. With that, you can pretty much handle most everything. Alright, so England, you know, we're in a world of crud right now. Alright, there's a lot of monsters that are local to England. Alright, so just if you're traveling around, that's what you should know. Let's see, Transylvania, they have the most. Alright, they have the most monsters per capita for where they are. They're infested. Vampires, werewolves, revenants, vampires, dragons, trolls, hags, gnomes, black dogs, green men, vampires, Strogi, vampires, Leshy, and Boggarts, Tricoli, vampires, Will-o'-the-Wisp, vampires, Spriggans, ghosts. Notice I said vampires several times. I have a lot of friggin' vampires. Alright, so recommended gear for Transylvania. If you have it, bring it. It's a rough place for a monster hunter. So, there you go. Over here, this is the skeleton of a hill giant. Alright? The skeleton alone is 8 feet tall. So he was probably 8.5 when he was alive. His legs are a little bent right now, but you know, when he's all the way up, he's a full 8 feet tall. And they're nasty, and I love to fight them because they're a challenge. And giants always carry bags with them, alright? Because they have things that they like to keep. They kind of collect things. They have a little weird social problem of some kind. This one happened to have a human arm in it, some rocks for throwing, a bashed-in skull, and a bottle of bug wine, which is really just poisonous bugs that the giant stuffs into a bottle with water. And over time, all that poison, he drinks it. It's not going to kill him because he's a giant, but it actually does make him a little drunk because it's trying to kill him, but he's too big. Alright, and then ROUS, that's a rodent of unusual size. You've heard of those. There's a kraken. There's a abaku right there. This is our Who Let the Dogs Out exhibit. Alright, all of these are monstrous creatures that take the form of dogs. Alright, starting over here, we have a Barghest, very nasty creature that roams around England. We have hellhounds. Hellhounds, alright, this is one of my few cheats at the Monster Museum. Alright, normally I found the monster, I caught it, I cut off its head, and I put it on a plaque. All right, well, my taxidermist did. Very nice lady. All right, but anyway, this, it's here, but they're invisible. All right, so I had to paint it so you could see what it would look like if you could see it. Only the person who it's after can see it. All right, right now, if there was a hellhound after me, he could be over there, staring at me. But he could not, you could not see him. You would not know.
So we don't want to see it.
No, you don't want to see it. If you see one, you know it's after you. And that's a big problem. All right, put down a line of salt, stand in a ring of salt, it cannot get to you. All right, salt is purity, that's why it's white. It stays white. And you cannot make salt impure. So, all right, so that's salt will fix it and put a line and it can't get to you. All right, anyway, that's hellhounds. So, really, if I didn't paint it, you couldn't see that. And for a long time, I had an empty plaque on the wall, people thought. But really, there was a monster head in it. A Kusith, great big creature, nasty, I hate them. This is another very interesting monster. It's called a Yethhound. And they travel in packs, and they're big dogs that have no heads. Very nasty. I don't know what they would do once they got to you, because they don't have a head. They're not going to bite you. But it's really gross. So I killed it. And goblin dogs, nasty. Really, it's a giant rat, is what it is, that has mange. It's a real big rat-like creature that we call goblin dogs. Goblins ride them on occasion, so that's why that's it. And then a church grim. All right, that's kind of fascinating also. A church grim is actually, it protects a churchyard, a graveyard. Whenever they have a new graveyard, they want there to be a spirit protector for it, to keep all the creatures that are in there. All the ghosts, all the spirits stay in the graveyard. They don't go out and wander about into the town and village. So the first thing buried there is the protector. Often they will get a big black dog and kill and bury it. It is then, its body and soul is bound to that graveyard to be its protector. That's why you see black dogs near graveyards and cemeteries. And they don't want to condemn a man's soul to being stuck on earth eternally guarding something. All right, don't open that box right there. It's full of bees. We're in the wild. It happens. Over here we have a giant spider. Under there we have a griffin. Yeah, you know all about those. I have a phoenix. I have a Welsh water leaper. I have a kappa from Asia. This looks like underground. It's my underground creature exhibit. You've got gnomes. You've got blue caps. You've got kobolds over here. You've got a Koblianu up there. And over here, yeah, blue caps. And these are knockers. All right, knockers are mind spirits. Over in where you're from, they have Tommy knockers, which are creatures in the mine. You hear them knocking. All right, there's a famous horror story about things that live underground. All right, well, the original knockers were live underground. They bothered the miners a little bit, and they would placate them by giving a piece of their lunch, tear a corner off of their miner's lunch, and they'd throw it into a corner of the mine. All right, take a bit off, you throw it in the corner of the mine, and that pleases them, so there's not a problem. It's kind of a bribe. Lots of monsters get bribes. It's just how it works. And then you have a harpy. In here we have a boggart. Over there we've got a spriggan. And back here, you behold the fury of the gift shop. Right here, you know, and we have vampire stakes for you here. We have dragon claw necklaces. We have little trapped fairy lockets, crucifixes, fairy dust, fresh squeezed. Right, you know, and all kinds of different witch charms, werewolf claws. We have one poor werewolf who keeps chained up. We just cut his fingers off all the time. Because we're not using silver, he regenerates. And now we can have new necklaces to sell the next day. You know, and we have woodland fairies. People can identify them better. We have those for sale. You know, regular old gift shop stuff.